Isometric drawings are two-dimensional drawing that appears like 3D dimensional. It can be made by sloping the viewing angle to 30 degrees from x-axis in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Now let's get started. To start a new drawing, click this AutoCAD icon, hover over New, click Drawing, and select AutoCAD for metric units and click Open. Just gonna go to View, Tile vertically, and move this drawing to the other side. I'm just gonna adjust my screen quickly. And go down to the status bar and make sure your dynamic input is on, polar tracking, and ISO draft. I'm going to start from this corner. So draw a line, type L for line command, click anywhere on the screen. And by the way, this is going to be our x-axis and this one is going to be our y-axis. So along the x-axis, enter 36. Click Zoom and select Extents. Adjust the object by rolling your wheel. So type L for line command, click this endpoint, and along the y-axis, enter 72. And towards the x-axis, enter 36 and close. Now join the segments by typing J for join command, enter, and select the objects. Now this is one object. Now I'm going to copy this object downward for 24 units, which is from this point here to this point. So click Object, right click, and select Copy Selection. Click this as base point and move it downward for 24 units. Draw a line and click this endpoint and connect it to this endpoint. Copy, selection, right click, and use this as base point. Click here and click here. Now we have created a box. Now I'm going to draw a line from this corner up to this point, which is 12 units. So type L for line command, click this one, move it along the x-axis, and enter 12. And bring it downward for 42 units, which is from this point to this point here. Now we're going to draw a line from this corner to this corner, which is also 12. So line, click this endpoint, and along the x-axis, enter 12. And the distance from this point to this point is 24, as shown here. So bring it downward for 24. Draw a line from this point up to this point is 72, as shown here. This one is parallel to this line here. So what I'm going to do is just draw a line, click this endpoint, and along the y-axis, follow that white dashed line and enter 72. And along the x-axis, enter 12. And connect that line to this endpoint. I'm just gonna draw another line, or maybe copy this one first. copy selection, click this in point and attach it here. And another line downward for 30 units from this point to this point. So type L for line command, click this in point and move it downward for 30 units. And move along the y-axis for 16 units and move it upward. Move your cursor upward for 6 units and connect it to this endpoint as shown here. I'm just going to draw a line from this endpoint and along the x-axis. Click here and trim. So type TR for trim command, enter. Click this boundary or cutting point, enter, and remove that line. Now I'm going to draw a line from this corner here to this point, which is 72. So type L for line, click this endpoint, and along the x-axis, enter 72 units. And bring it down for 6 units. And move it along the y-axis and just click anywhere on the screen. So which is this one? This is what we're going to create. Now I'm going to trim. So type TR for trim command. So this is the cutting edge or the boundary. Enter and click this one to remove. Now a line from this corner here to this corner is 73. So type L for line command. Click this endpoint and along the x-axis, enter 73. And another line upward for 25 units, which is this one here. Now I'm going to draw a line downward, maybe up to that point. Another line from this point to this point. And then we'll trim. So TR for trim command. Cutting point here and this one, and remove this line. Another line along the y-axis for 24. So type L for line command, enter. And from this endpoint and along the y-axis, enter 24. And move it along the x-axis for 50. Another 24 to that side. And along the x-axis for another 50. Another 24 along the y-axis. And another 50 along the x-axis. Enter. I'm just gonna copy this one because this is the same. Copy. Base point here and attach it here. Now trim. So type TR for trim command. Use this as cutting point and remove this one here. We're going to draw this circle, but since this is 2D, so this is elliptical. So go back to the ribbon, click this drop down arrow to create an ellipse and select this axis N and go down to the command line and select ISO circle for option and shift right click and select a point between 2 points, in this case between these 2 midpoints, and see the direction because we choose top, isoplane top. So just press F5 to change the plane and enter D for diameter option, as you can see here from the command line, there's a diameter option. So type D and then enter 24 as shown here. See this one? And then I'm going to draw another ellipse. Click this drop down arrow, select this one, and go down to the command prompt. Select IsoCircle, click center, and enter 30. So this circle or ellipse is attaching to this plane here. And we need another one to cut this plane here. So I'm going to copy this ellipse. Copy selection, use center as midpoint, and move it along the x-axis for 12 units. Now we're going to trim. So type TR for trim command. We're going to remove this line here. So use this one as cutting point, enter, and remove this line. And remove this line, enter. Right click to repeat trim. We're gonna remove this portion here. So we're gonna use this one as the cutting plane, enter, and remove this line. And now we're gonna remove this portion here, this one here, from here to here. So right click to repeat trim, use this as boundary, and this one, right click and remove this one. Now we're gonna remove this one here from this point to this point here. So type TR for trim command. We're gonna use this one as boundary, and then this one, repeat trim, use this one as boundary and remove this one here. Now we're gonna remove this one and this one. So trim command again, right click and select this one as boundary, this one as boundary here, and this one as boundary, enter, and remove this one and remove this one. There you go. Takes a while to figure out. And then trim again. So type TR for trim command, select boundary, so this one, and remove this line. And for this area here, we're gonna trim this part from this corner to this corner. So type TR for trim command, enter, and use this one as the cutting boundary or boundaries, enter, and select this one. And we don't need that anymore. I'm just gonna explode. And we don't need this one, we don't need that, and we don't need that. Another trim command, enter, use this as a cutting edge, enter, and remove this one. What else? Oh, we have to draw this ellipse here. So go back to the ribbon, click this drop down arrow and select the one with axis and end choices, and go down to the status bar, not status bar but command line. Click this IsoCircle option and click this midpoints. See the instruction here, it says specify center of IsoCircle. This is gonna be our corner. See the direction of your or the plane that we're using. So we're gonna use press F5 until you get that F5 until you get that right plane. In this case, we're gonna click this endpoint and then type TR for trim command, enter, and select this one and this one as your cutting plane or boundaries, enter, and remove that one. Just erase that. I think we are done. So I just apply hatch for easier visualization. So hatch, click solid. I'm just gonna use yellow here. Maybe this one is yellow, just this portion here, and maybe this one yellow. Enter. Hatch again, select solid. I'm gonna use this one for red, this face here. Hatch again. In color, I'm gonna use blue for this one here, this one, and this one, and maybe this one too, and maybe this face and this one. I think we are done. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe icon and comment below, and see you again.